with the tension between the two of you? Now, you may love him, but he may not love you back right now.
Some surprising news coming through on Capitol Hill. We are hearing that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene intends to resign from her seat in the House effective early January. January 5th will be her final day on Capitol Hill. Greene, of course, is the one-time MAGA loyalist. She rose to prominence for her support of President Trump. And as of late, she's been in the headlines for her feuding with President Trump.
One wonders, really, it's inexplicable as to why she's resigning. Donald Trump and people that he has had feuds with have made up, countless times in the past few years. We've seen it with Marco Rubio and other people. It just, and resigning with so much time left in office, and she'll do this on January 5th. One wonders whether there's other factors involved, or whether polling in her district is telling her that she's become very unpopular. Who knows what the reasons are, but I would say, just in general, if she's resigning after this little dust up with the president, which could be solved, she's got very thin skin. And she was somebody that for the longest time has, given as much as she's had to take. It was a little bit of a bitter statement in my view.
So she is not carrying out the rest of her term, as we've alluded to. And
right.
Instead, what she's doing is she's choosing to leave Congress early. Of course, we know members of Congress are elected every 2 years, so we would have been following, presumably, her election, or at least her race closely come the 2026 midterms. But now that won't be happening, Brian. She's going to be resigning by January. That means that they'll have to have a special election. Do I have that right?
Or yes, that would be the possible way it could go. I don't know whether the governor also has an option there either. But yes, probably a special election, because actually we're pretty far out from the 26th election.
So when a member of Congress opts not to finish their term out, what does that tell you?
There are other factors at play. It can be family matters. It can be just that they know the end is coming. But it's very unusual. This is a very unusual move, but it's accompanied by, again, what I think was a very bitter statement by the representative, and sort of one of these things where, she opened the door, tossed a grenade in, and closed the door and is walking away. And it's inexplicable, as I said earlier, using that word. I'm sure we will learn more as time goes on, but I can't believe that her spat with the president, which is, as I always say with Donald Trump, is temporary, is the sole reason why she resigned. So I've got to believe there are other factors at play.
Just thinking off the top of your head, could there be another political office that she could be eyeballing? Is that possible?
The problem with that is people want to see completion. So the idea of running for something else happens all the time, right? But you don't do it from a position of, hey, I've decided to resign from my current position so that I can run for another position this early. You might see it, later, but this is a timing thing that's very curious. If she has her eye on another seat, and she did allude at the end of her statement to maybe I see you down the road, I'm paraphrasing there. Maybe she has something else in mind, but I don't see the efficacy in resigning now to run for another office and the way that she's resigning, which is basically, I think the Republicans aren't going to have a good midterm. I don't want to be party to being in the minority and having to fight for our president's agenda. That doesn't like me. Well, sounds a little bit schoolyardish to me.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. and the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts, American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest, and the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas just sit. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big 6-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid.
Now there's going to be 432 members in the House, 219 Republicans versus 213 Democrats. What does this shakeup mean for the already razor-thin margins in the lower chamber?
Just that. It's razor thin. While we are watching Republicans and Democrats right now pretty monolithically vote, it suggests that just a few people moving over the line can really derail the president's agenda in the House of Representatives. And so with that, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's reference to how she thinks Republicans will do in the midterm, which historically the party out of office does well vis-a-vis a president from another party being in office, it could mean that Republicans don't do well in the midterms because of the razor thin margin here. And for that reason, maybe there's some truth in the fact that Greene does not want to be in the minority in Congress and as she said, having to defend the president's policies.